Billiard. I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, still guap. Where that thing, bitches on my line, and you know.
Penology. Penology is the study of punishment of crimes, including prison and prison administration. The term of penology comes from the word poena, which means penalty in Latin. Penology is the subcategory of criminology, which is the study of crimes, and sociology, which is the study of human interaction. For example, penologists may study the use of reason, the types of punishment, and the philosophies of punishment.
Philosophy of punishment and penology. There have been no limits to man's imagination at devising techniques of punishment. More ways to hurt people and inflict pain exist than ways to reward or encourage people. Sabi dito, wala daw limitasyon ang imahinasyon ng mga tao kung paano mag-iimbento or paano sila nag-iisip ng mga bagong technique sa pagpaparusa. More ways to hurt people and inflict pain exist than ways to reward or encourage people. Mas marami pa daw yung paraan na sinasaktan natin yung tao or binibigyan natin sila ng punishment kaysa sa panghihikayat sa kanila upang magbago. This may be due to a long-held societal belief, one that science has also played a part in, that the best way to get someone to change is to inflict pain and suffering. In other words, society believes in punishment. So, ang sinasabi dito is, mas natututo daw or mas nababago natin ang isang tao na gumawa ng kasalanan pagka pinaparusahan natin sila, yung parusa na nasasaktan sila, parusa na alam natin na nagsasakripisyo sila. Ito daw yung best way to get someone to change. Ibig sabihin dito is, dito natin masasabi na ito daw yung pinakamagandang paraan para mabago natin or maitama natin yung pagkakamali na isang tao, ang parusahan sila. As law and legal system developed, societies became accustomed to letting formal authorities perform this function. Punishment then became a formal responsibility to be carried out by government professional specialists. In other words, society believes in punishment. So, ang sinasabi dito is, mas natututo daw or mas nababago natin ang isang tao na gumawa ng kasalanan pagka pinaparusahan natin sila, yung parusa na nasasaktan sila, parusa na alam natin na nagsasakripisyo sila. Ito daw yung best way to get someone to change. Ibig sabihin dito is, dito natin masasabi na ito daw yung pinakamagandang paraan para mabago natin or maitama natin yung pagkakamali na isang tao, ang parusahan sila. As law and legal system developed, societies became accustomed to letting formal authorities perform this function. Punishment then became a formal responsibility to be carried out by government professional specialists. So now, let's proceed to 4 models of penology. First is retributive justice model. Many of the early professional specialists were experts at execution, torture, and mutilation. In fact, the Code of Hammurabi, circa 1700 BC, often cited as the world's first legal code, didn't specify much of a role for judges, but did specify a substantial role for those whose job was to chop off hands or impale somebody on a stake. Under the Code of Hammurabi, an attempt was to enact sympathetic punishment or justice in the term of. So, yung retributive justice model daw is, sila yung mga eksperto sa pagpatay, sa pagto-torture, yung pagbibigay ng sakit. Yung tinotorture natin isang tao, and mutilation is yung pagbibigay ng serious damage sa isang tao. Example: A. Life for life. B. Tooth for tooth. C. Foot for foot. D. Wound for wound. E. Eye for eye. F. Hand for hand. G. Burning for burning. H. Stripe for stripe. Yung mga example nito is parang may ko-convert natin siya or maihahalin tulad natin siya as death penalty. Pagka nakapatay ka ng tao, papatayin ka din. Kumbaga, kung ano yung ginawa mo sa isang tao or ano yung ginawa mong kasalanan, yun din yung gagawin na parusa sa'yo para patas yung, para masabi natin na yung ginawa mo is napagbayaran mo talaga. Halimbawa, pumatay ka, papatayin ka din. Pagka naman ako, kunwari, sinugatan mo ako, susugatan ka din ng mga magpa-punish sa'yo. Then, ayun, ganun lang yun. Next is Justice Model by David Fogel. This model has rejected all hopes for rehabilitation and the indeterminate sentence. It also contains some strong views on penology and has been described as less concerned with the administration of justice than with the justice of administration. Fogel's idea in improving the effectiveness of the correction are the following. First, punishment is necessary to uphold laws. Yung punishment daw po is necessary to defend and make principle about laws. Next, prisoners should be considered and treated as responsible for their action. Dapat daw po yung mga bantay natin sa kulungan or yung prisoners ay sila yung mga responsable sa kanilang ginagawa. Justice employee discretion should be narrowed and controlled. Dapat daw po yung pagbibigay ng hustisya ay patas at kontrolado. Accountability ought to be on the offender, not the clientele. Sabi dito, ang pananagutan ay dapat nasa nagkasala, hindi sa kliyente. Last is, prison ought to be accountable on how they demand accountability. Dapat managot kung paano nila hiniling ang pananagutan. Kumbaga ba sinasabi dito na prisons ought to be accountable on how they demand accountability. Dapat kung paano nila papanagutin or paano isinasagawa yung punishment na yon, dapat ganun nila ginagawa ng tama, yung wala silang kinakampihan or wala silang pinapalagpas na tao kahit gaano man ito kayaman or gaano man kalakas ang kapit nito. Kung ano ang parusa, yun dapat ang parusa para sa taong nagkasala. Next is utilitarian model. This model, as mentioned earlier, was conceptualized by Jeremy Bentham. Bentham emphasized that punishment should exist to ensure the continuance of society and to deter people from committing crime. Of this, he offered the general and specific kinds of deterrence and proposed a type of prison system known as the panopticon design or panopticon prison or all-seeing eye prison. Yung panopticon prison is para siyang templo na yung pagkakabuild sa kanya is pag ganon, then yung mga nakakulong is nasa paligid lang nun. Tas isang tao lang bawat isang kulungan na nakikita nila isa't isa kasi naniniwala sila na that person are punished not so much because they deserve it, but in order that others will not be inclined to do the same or similar thing. This belief makes prison reasonable for crime prevention as police are expected to be. Some basic tenets in the principle of deterrence are: punishment must be used to uphold society at all costs. Yung kaparusahan daw ay dapat na nakadepende or nagme-make ng principle para sa society sa lahat ng pagkakataon. Prisoners should be treated as mean to an end. Yung mga prisoners daw po ay dapat tinitreat sila na parang ito na yung katapusan. Justice employees ought to be hyper-vigilant in crime detection. Yung mga employees daw po ng hustisya ay dapat vigil sila sa pagbabantay sa crime detection. The public ought to intimately known about the penal sanction and the threat of punishment may work as well as actual punishment. That Sinasabi dito na kung ano daw po yung parusa ay dapat yun mismo ang parusa na walang kulang, walang bawas, or walang sobra. Last is redemption or restorative justice model. This philosophy of punishment tends to be about faith-based initiative and religious-based correctional intervention. Restorative justice approach are sometimes called as communitarian justice or reintegrative justice or redemptive justice. Ito daw po yung philosophy or yung model na about faith or religious-based correctional intervention. Sabi dito, the Catechism of the Catholic Church provided the classic statement of redemption as a philosophy of punishment. It is said that the primary effect of punishment is to redress the disorder caused by the offense. When this punishment is voluntarily accepted by the offender, it takes on the value of expiation. Moreover, punishment has the effect of presenting the public order and the safety of persons. Finally, punishment has a medical value. As far as possible, it should contribute to the correction of the offender. Nonetheless, no one has yet created a criminological model which lays out the path by which religious faith or belief affects law-abiding behavior, and all that is really known is that, according to a set of studies known as the Florida chaplaincy studies, the more religious activities a prisoner attends, the fewer the number of misconduct reports he receives. Sinasabi dito na kapag mas madaming beses na umaattend yung isang nagkasala sa religious activities or sa mga misa, sa mga bilangguan, mas nababawasan daw yung mga reports na natatanggap para sa kanya.
Correction of criminals. The correction of criminals in the country comes into two forms, namely institutional correction and non-institutional correction. The former involves imprisonment as a form of punishment, while the latter includes reformation of convict outside the prison through probation, parole, or conditional pardon. Institutional correction. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng institutional correction? Ang institutional correction ay isang institusyon o koreksyon kung saan ay ang taong nagkasala o nakagawa ng krimen ay binabago o nire-rehabilitate sa loob ng isang bilangguan. Sa institutional correction, instead sa labas sila binabago, ay nasa loob sila ng isang kulungan o isang rehabilitation area kung saan dito binabago sila at binabalik sila kung saan o ano ang kanilang ugali bago sila makapag-commit ng isang krimen. Dito ay may mga programa na ginagawa upang mabago ang isang nagkasala. Katulad na lang ng pagpasok nila sa isang kumbento sa loob ng isang kulungan o iba pang mga bagay na makakapagpabago at makapagbalik ng ugali nilang nung bago sila makulong. Non-institutional correction. Ano nga ba ang non-institutional correction? Ang non-institutional correction ay uri ng correction na kung saan ang mga nagkasala ay hindi nakadetain sa isang kulungan o rehabilitation. Ang mga nakakulong ay asa labas ng community at doon sila nagre-rehabilitate ng kanilang mga sarili. Meron silang chance sa labas ng community. Doon nila pwedeng baguhin ng kanilang mga sarili at doon nila pwedeng itama ang kanilang mga pagkakamali. May mga chance pa rin sila na pwede silang ibalik sa loob pag nagkasala ulit sila, pero may mga chances na mas napapalaya sila sa institusyon na to. Dito na rin papasok ang probation, parole, or pardon. Pero sa institusyon na to, may mga limit at may mga chances pa rin na pwedeng maibalik sila sa loob, katulad nga nasabi ko kanina, na kapag once nagkasala ulit sila, ay may babalik sila sa loob ng kulungan. Sa institusyon na to ay hindi sila totoong malaya. May mga kaso pa rin silang kailangang kaharapin. What is penalty or punishment? In its general sense, penalty signifies pain in its juridical sphere. Penalty means the suffering is undergone because of the action to society by one who commits a crime. Hence, penalty is imposed only after conviction in a criminal action. Penalty. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng salitang penalty? Ang penalty ay isang parusang ipinapataw sa mga taong nagkasala o lumabag sa batas. Ang penalty ang maaring tugon sa kriminal o sa ilang mga tao na lumabag o nakasira ng ilang kagamitan ng kabilang partido. Ang ilan dito ay ang mga parusa na kailangan kang magbayad ng salapi upang maayos o magawa ng parian ang nagawa mong kasalanan sa kabilang partido. Punishment. Ano nga ba ang punishment? Ang punishment ay tumutukoy sa hindi kasisiya o hindi kaaya-aya na pangyayari na nagresulta ng isang paghatol o pagpataw ng mga nakakataas o ng isang korte sa nasasakdal o sa nagkasala. Pinapataw ng mga pulisya o ng korte nagresulta sa pagkakakulong ng inireklamo o nasakdal na kriminal.
My topic is justification of punishment. Punishment is a fundamental aspect of any legal system serving multiple purposes in the administration of justice. Ang justification of punishment ay ang pagsisiyasat ng iba't ibang mga katwiran para sa pagpataw ng kaparusahan. And also, the justification for punishment are multifaceted, encompassing retribution, deterrence, rehabilitation, and the protection of society. The balance between this justification often varies based on the legal philosophies, societal norms, and the nature of the offense. Ang justification for punishment ay may iba't ibang aspeto tulad ng paghihiganti, pag-iwas, rehabilitasyon, at pangangalaga sa lipunan. There are four main justification for punishment. First, deterrence. It is a set an example to deter others. Magbigay ng isang halimbawa upang hadlangan ng iba. Second, rehabilitation. Reforms offender so they can come out as a good citizen who do not reoffend. Ito yung upang mapabuti ang nagkasala upang maging mabuting mamamayan na hindi na muling magkasala. Third, incapacitation. Take people out of circulation so they can harm the public. Ito yung pag-alis ng mga makakasala ng tao para hindi na muli pa maapaminsala sa publiko. Fourth, retribution. Society revenge, getting our own back o payback. Ito yung paghihiganti ng lipunan sa pagkuha o pagnanakaw ng sariling atin. I have an example for justification of punishment. The imposition of punishment on a criminal who is guilty of a cruel crime has the purpose of recovering justice and compensing the wrong done. Ito yung pagpapataw ng parusa sa isang kriminal na nagkasala ng malupit na krimen ay may layuning mabawi ang katarungan at pagtapat na nagawang masama. Second topic, judicial condition of penalty. Judicial condition of penalty. The imposition of penalties within the judicial system is a critical aspect of maintain societal order and justice. Ay yung unang dapat maging produktibo sa pagdurusa ng hindi naaapektuhan ang integridad ng pagkatao ng iba. Pangalawa, dapat naaayon sa pagkasala ang iba-ibang krimen at dapat parusa ng iba't ibang parusa. And also, the judicial condition of penalty are complex and multifaceted, involving legal frameworks, sentencing guidelines, rehabilitation programs, and alternative penalties. The delicate balance between punishment and rehabilitation reflects the involving nature of criminal justice system. Ang judicial condition of penalty ay komplikado na kinasasangkutan ng mga alituntunin sa pagsistensya mga programa sa rehabilitasyon at mga alternatibong parusa. I have an recommendation for this topic. First, advocate for periodic reviews and update of sentencing guidelines to ensure their relevance and alignment with evolving societal norms. Ito daw yung pagtataguyod para sa panahong pagsusuri sa mga alituntunin sa pagsistensya upang matiyak ang kanilang kaugnayan at paghahanay ng mga lumitaw o umusbong na kailangan ng lipunan. Second, encourage the expansion and movement of rehabilitation programs to address the diverse needs of offenders, promoting successful reintegration into society. Ito yung paghihikayat ng pagpapalawak at pagpapabuti ng mga programa para matugunan ang magkakaibang kailangan ng mga kasalanan na nagsusulong ng matagumpay na samahan sa lipunan. I have an example for this topic. First, overview of the significance of judicial condition of penalty in maintaining societal order and justice. Ito daw ang pangkalahatang ideya ng kahalagahan ng judicial condition of penalty sa pananatili ng kaayusan sa lipunan. Second, discussion of the foundational legal principle governing the application of penalties. Ito naman ang pagtatalakay sa mga pundasyong legal na prinsipyo na namamahala sa kailangan ng mga kaparusahan.
What is prison? Also known as penal, penitentiary, or correctional facility. Prison is a place in which individuals are physically confined or interned and usually deprived of a range of personal freedom. Ang kulungan ay isang lugar kung saan ang isang individual ay pisikal na ikinukulong. Ito ay isang uri ng institusyon kung saan ang mga tao ay kinukulong dahil sa paglabag sa batas o may krimen silang ginawa. There are three purposes of a prison. First, punishment. Punishment is one of the primary purposes of a prison, to serve as a place where individuals convicted of crime can be punished for their wrongdoing. It is a form of retribution for the harm they have caused to society. Punishment or parusa. Ito ay proseso ng pagbibigay ng karampatang parusa sa isang tao na may ginawang paglabag o krimen. Layunin nito ay gawing katumbas ng kanilang mga aksyon ang nararapat na parusa. Second is deterrence. Prison also serves as a deterrent to potential criminal. Knowing that there are consequences such as imprisonment can deter someone individual from engaging criminal activities. Deterrence or pagpigil. Ito ay naglalayong pigilan ng iba na gumawa ng mga paglabag o krimen sa pamamagitan ng pagpapakita ng halimbawa ng mga taong napausahan. Ito ay isang paraan upang manghikayat ng disiplina at pagsunod sa batas. And last is rehabilitation. Many prisons aim to rehabilitate inmates. This involves providing education, vocational training, counseling, and other programs to help individuals address the underlying issues that may have led to their criminal behavior and prepare themselves for reintegration into society. Rehabilitasyon. Ito ay proseso ng pagtuturo at pagbibigay ng mga oportunidad sa mga bilanggo upang baguhin ang kanilang mga ugali at pagkaroon ng makabuluhan at produktibong buhay. Pagkalabas ng bilangguan. Layunin nito ay tulungan ang mga bilanggo na maging mabuting mamamayan. Responsibilities of prison. Safekeeping of all inmates. Kaligtasan ng lahat ng mga bilanggo. Ang unang responsibilidad ng mga bilangguan ay ang pangalagaan ng kaligtasan ng lahat ng mga bilanggo. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang mga bilanggo ay dapat mapanatili sa isang ligtas na kapaligiran na malayo sa anumang potensyal na panganib sa kanilang buhay o kalusugan. Maintaining and improving the welfare of all confined within it. Pag-aalaga at pagpapabuti sa kalagayan ng lahat ng nakakulong. Ang pangalawang responsibilidad ay ang pangalagaan at pagpabuti ng kalagayan ng lahat ng mga nakakulong sa loob ng bilangguan. Kasama dito ang pagbibigay ng kanilang pangangailangan tulad ng pagkain, tubig at pangangalaga sa kalusugan. Layunin nito ay mapanatili ang kanilang kalusugan at kagalingan habang sila ay nasa bilangguan. Performance of this objective within the maximum efficiency and economy. Pagtupad sa mga layunin ito ng may pinakamataas na kahusayan at kahalagahan. Ang pangatlong responsibilidad ay ang pagtupad sa mga nabanggit na layunin ng may pinakamataas na kahusayan at kahalagahan. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang mga bilangguan ay dapat gamitin ang mga mapanagot ng paraan upang mapanatili ang kaligtasan at kagalingan ng mga bilanggo ng may pinakamababang gastusin. Ito ay mahalaga upang matugunan ang mga pangunahing pangangailangan ng mga bilanggo ng may ayos at epektibo. BUCOR, Bureau of Correction in the Philippines. There are 7 correctional facilities worldwide. San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm. This is located at Zamboanga City. Ihawi Prison and Penal Farm. And this is located at Barangay Ihawig, Palawan. Correctional Institution for Women. This is located at Mandaluyong City. Davao Prison and Penal Farm. This is located at Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte. New Bilibid Prison. This is located at Muntinlupa City. Sablayan Prison, Penal Farm. This is located at Occidental Mindoro. Leyte Regional Prison. This is located at Abuyog, Leyte.
Rehabilitation in prison. It is the process of helping inmates to grow and change, allowing them to separate themselves from the environmental factors that made them commit or a crime in the first place. There are 8 types of rehabilitation in prison, but there have 4 types major rehabilitation program in prison. There are livelihood protect, educational and vocational training, recreation and sports, and lastly, religious and spiritual activities. And may I add, a design to reduce recidivism among adults who have been convicted of the offense by improving by their behavior, skills, mental health, and social functioning, and access to education and employment. And let's talk about executive clemency. It is called executive clemency because only the President of the Philippines has the power and authority to grant it. There have 4 executive clemency. 1 is pardon, 2 is amnesty, 2 is reprieve, and lastly, commutation of sentence. First is what is pardon? It is the forgiveness of a crime and penalty associated within and will be granted by a sovereign power like such a president or chief of state. They have 2 types of pardon. 1 is absolute pardon. It is the pardon it will be given without any condition or conditional. Number 2, conditional pardon. It is the pardon can refers to the exception of an individual with limit of constitution. It must be accepted by the offenders to become effectively. Another types of clemency, amnesty, refers to an act of justice by which the supreme power in a state restores those who may have been guilty of any offense against indisposition of an innocent person. In short, it is an act by authority as a government by which pardon is granted especially to a group of individuals. Third types of clemency is reprieve. It refers to the temporary delay in the imposition of sentence to stop or delay the punishment respectively by a death of prison. And lastly, commutation of sentence refers to the reduction of legal penalties, especially in terms of imprisonment, but in our law, it is the shortening a term of punishment or lowering of the level of punishment. Let's talk about parole. Parole was created by virtue of Act 4103, or also known as the Indeterminate Sentence Law. In short, is law, or as amended. Provision in our country, it is a privilege granted by the court of to a person convicted a criminal offense to remain in the community instead of actually going to prison or jail. There are two kinds of probation. One is minor probation law or Presidential Decree 608 as amended is the otherwise known as the Child and Youth Welfare Code. As offender who was under 18 years of age must be probation of this Presidential Decree 603. And the other kinds of probation is Adult Probation Law or Presidential Decree 968, other known as the Adult Probation Law of 1976. It was signed into law by former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. on July 24, 1976.